breaking news, breaking news. Now, we got Daphne Joy, who's Jane Doe, who's 50 Cent's baby mother, who's Diddy's girlfriend, is testifying about how Diddy's a better lover. Let's get to the point. Now, we're going to hear from her mouth how Diddy's a better lover than 50. She still loves Diddy. She want to be with Diddy. And she just has a child with 50 Cent. This is not to disrespect 50 Cent, but I'm going to use this scenario, and we're going to use 50 Cent and Diddy as, let's say, A and B, and I'm going to give you a different scenario. I think y'all really going to enjoy this. I'm going to tap it in my mind. I'm going to let y'all know how we think on the street. But just to give you a quick little ride, check it out, right? So here it is in a short synopsis. 50 Cent got a baby mother. He met her. She was nice. She was cute. She was exotic. He had a baby with her. Boom. Now, 50 liked her. She was so cute, he figured that he could make her into a housewife. Boom. Now, here comes Diddy. Diddy comes in. Diddy sees that she's not housewife material, that she's more freak-off material. So Diddy makes his move. Now, from Diddy making his move, 50 gets in his body because 50 looked at it like, this is my girl, my baby mother, not even my girl. She has my child that I'm connected with for the next 18 years. Diddy, you could get any female you want. So why act like a flip-flop wearing in public rat bastard and cross me and talk to my baby mother? You know how it is, fellas. Everything is on limits except for your man's baby mother. I'm just giving to the raw how it is on the street. That's why this is breaking news, and it's going to be a little longer breaking news than normal. But now I'm going to ride and explain to you this. Right? Now, if you got a baby mother and you got 5 girlfriends you're talking to and you're hanging with your man, only one that your man have to respect is the one that has your seed because you're connected with that for the next 18 years. Anything else is on limits. So you can't tell me, oh, that one's mine. I got one of the homies. That's right. I used to go out with one of the homies, right? Every time I go in his neighborhood and I pull up and, I see a little cutie and I'll be like, yo, oh man, she cute. She got a fat ass. He'd be like, oh, no, that's one of my shorties. Then here it is, 5 minutes later, somebody come from all the direction. I said, oh man, she got nice breasts. Oh no, that's one of my shorties. I'm like, dog, you can't claim all the shorties. You know what I mean? You can't claim all the shorties, man. You know what I mean? And like, now I'll be talking to her. So now he tries another stunt, right? And y'all put in the comments what you think this is about. So I see another female. I say, damn, she bad. And I'll be like, oh man, let me make my move. I said, they ain't your shorty, right? He'd be like, nah, but that's my man's baby moms. And I said, oh man. You see what I'm saying? If it ain't a shorty, it's his man, baby moms. Is this one girl? Is that one girl? And you like, hold up, man. I mean, like, what could I talk to? But that's how it is. And, we're going to ride and give you some different scenarios. We're going to play, Jane Doe, a.k.a. 50's baby mother's, test cross-examination. And I'm going to break it down from a street point of view. You don't want to miss, because I'm just going to give it to you raw, because I'm tired of these, but I love a dog. Let's go, let's go, let's go. You know what it is. Unique Mecca Audio, man. We're going to play this out. We're going to show the cross-examination of 50 Cent's baby mother, whatever her name is. What's her name? Because that's what we know as 50 Cent's baby mother, right? I think it's Daphne Joy, because I'm not trying to disrespect her, but we know it's 50 Cent baby mother, right? Now, let's ride. All right.
But before we get ahead of ourselves, let's start at the beginning of the day. That is when Judge Subramanian denied a mistrial request by Diddy's defense team, a motion centered around the explosive testimony from Cassie Ventura's friend, Brianna Bongolan, also known as Bana. You'll probably remember that she is the person that said Diddy dangled her off a 17th story balcony. The defense claimed it was a lie.
So boom, they caught a lie in the trial. Shorty said that You know, Diddy dangle off the roof like he was Suge Knight with Vanilla Ice, allegedly, right? So they say, Diddy dangle it. Oh, you're going to choke on it. You're going to do what I want. You're going to, for whatever reason, right? So he dangle it off, right? So now let's go into this. Right? Did y'all believe that? But anyway, that was proven to be a lie. So they asked for a mistrial, and Subiani said, nah, you ain't getting nothing. We done went too far. Take it up on appeal. All right.
That Diddy wasn't even in California when Bana said it happened, and they had the receipts to prove it. He was literally live on a stage in the New York area. Can't be in two places at once. But the judge didn't bite. He ruled that even if, quote, the government screwed up, end quote, it wasn't enough to toss the case out. And here's something you don't hear every day. The judge even praised Diddy's lawyer, Nicole Westmoreland, for her cross-examination skills. The judge also ruled against the government's request to recall forensic psychologist Dr. Don Hughes, who talked about trauma bonding in victims. And then the real stuff started. Diddy's lawyer, Tenny Garagos, yes, the daughter of famed lawyer Mark Garagos. Tenny Garagos started the cross-examination by asking Jane how many times she had met with Diddy's lawyers and how many times she had met with government lawyers. Jane said that she met with the defense several times before choosing to finally stop meeting with them, and that she's met with the government lawyers about 24 times. She maintained that even though Diddy is still paying for her home and for her lawyer, that he hasn't interfered with her, quote, as a witness during this trial.
Diddy's paying for a house. Whoa. Is Diddy smooth or is Diddy a trick? What do y'all call Diddy in this situation? Smooth or a trick?
Trial. And that she has not seen him nor spoken with him since his arrest 8 months ago.
So for 8 months while he's been incarcerated fighting for his life, here goes a witness that's getting ready to testify to try and get him locked up for the rest of his life, and he's still paying a rent $10,000 a month. Is that a trick? Is that but I love a dog, dude? I mean, what do you label that? Somebody put it in the comments. What do you call, would you pay a woman's rent for 8 months while you are locked up on a RICO charge waiting to see what happens? If you're going to be locked up for the rest of your life and she's working with the other team and you're paying her rent? Now I want to know what's she going to say when did she talk to him? Who does she talk to keep the faucet of funds running while she's not giving up any buns? Because no one's getting nothing that we know about. All right.
And I got a little side note here. That may very well be because Diddy has been locked up in a federal penitentiary ever since his arrest. A lockup where every single communication he has in jail is monitored. You know, the old jailhouse lines?
All right, well, stop it. You see what I'm saying? You said, oh, well, Diddy haven't reached out because he can't, because he's locked up and everything recorded. They already charged Diddy. You know, not charged him, but they already accused Diddy of using other people's PAC number, using other people's iPad, using other means to go out to threaten witnesses, and that's why he's sitting his black ass in jail now, because he can't get out. This is sponsored by Cashbox. All right, he might even be trying to use Cash App in there. He might have a Cash App going where he's sending everybody Cash App to make sure he all right, or to make sure they do what he got to do. But that's what I'm saying. It's all speculation. But she's sitting there saying, oh, he didn't, and she didn't. Of course he didn't do it because he's locked up. Yo, if he wanted to reach out to the lady, he would have. If he wanted to reach out to the lady, he would have. There's means to do it. He was already accused of trying to circumvent the system. So I'm not going to let y'all sit here and say, oh, he couldn't reach out. That's why he didn't reach out. If he gave a crap about that 10 grand, obviously her loving, her devotion, her affection, her spiritual soul connected to him in some kind of way that he knows that it's not really her up there on the stand testifying. It's the government putting the battery in her back, letting her know you was down with the freak off. You even traveled on another freak off all the way to Las Vegas on another multi-mogul rapper's jet that we don't want to disclose to the public, because if you're trying to wonder why, let's take a ride. When they come up and they talk about the part that they're trying to keep out the trial, as far as saying that they're going to Las Vegas trip and the other mogul, that's because that other mogul is being investigated to be charged with the same thing as Diddy. The same way they used the crack cocaine to bring us down in the 80s and early 90s that took 26 and a half years out of my life is the same way they're going to bring down these moguls and then trickle down to the biggest rap stars. So all of y'all rooting for Diddy's downfall, you better pray to hell that they don't get you for your downfall. I'm just giving to you 100. But if you followed the law, you wouldn't have none of this to worry about. That's why I say don't get involved in the street. Don't follow none of that. I don't even know if I want to even play the rest of this tape because this video was so fire. Y'all getting so much jewels out of me because I'm in a good mood right now. I was chilling yesterday because I'm riding. Yesterday, I was chilling with Lil Durk's pop. I was chilling with my man Kareem from Philly. I was chilling with Prince from the Supreme Team. I was chilling with one of the founders of the JBL. I was chilling with Marlo Stanfield that The Wire's written about. I was chilling with Aunt Bar Prey. I was chilling with Clarence that they made the movie that's on HBO, Sing Sing. I'm getting ready to interview him. I got some fire interview and all that. That's why I took off for a minute, you know. But I'm back. I'm getting ready to give you some fire in between me talking my crap. All right? But let's get back to this here with this. I want to see what's going on with this 50 Cent's baby mama thing.
They're always recorded. So yeah, it would be crazy if Diddy tried to interfere with her as a witness. We'd have evidence of it anyway.
He's already accused for trying to get at the other Danny Kane and all that. So if he wanted to really reach out to Daphne Joy, he would have. And it would have been documented and everything else. They just saying that that's why he didn't do it. But obviously he did it with the other chick from the Danny Kane. So you know what time it is. Don't really fast. It's a stupid conversation. This whole trial is stupid. It looks stupid. If you can't see it's stupid, something is wrong with you. Maybe you're just no disrespect. Let's keep it moving.
He was actually denied bail, you'll probably remember, because the prosecutors were worried that he might interfere with witnesses like Jane.
Exactly. The same way he allegedly reached out to the Danny Kane joint. So if he wanted to reach out to witnesses like Jane, he would have. Let's stop the crap.
Also interesting today, Jane told the jury that she was granted immunity.
Now, do you know what immunity is? Let's ride on that. When they start talking about that immunity means that they have your ass on criminal charges if you don't cooperate and cooperate to the fullest of the law, which is our version of the law, then bang, right there off the bat, you will be sitting in trial next to Diddy. Now, could you imagine, right? Let's ride. All these witnesses that we heard go up here against Diddy, everyone got ears to hear. We understand and we sympathize, you know, with the women with the psychological trauma because I have violent traumas from the violence that I've seen, and, you know, from the street. So I understand that, right? These traumas are there. But you got Diddy sitting here. I don't even know where I was at because this is so stupid. Where was I at? Somebody help me. Where was I at? Let me try and get this. This is what you call a brain fart. You know, it's like my brain just farted because this is just full of crap. You know what I mean? So she sit there. Let me play a little more because I don't get this is so stupid.
Before she got up to testify, she said that she did not want to be prosecuted.
Oh, we was talking about immunity. So we're talking about her testifying in a matter that the government needs her to testify in order to get a conviction. And I was going to take you on a ride. Imagine if this trial had all the people that we sat here ourselves and listened to testify about how brutal Diddy is, how much of a woman beater that we know for a fact because we heard evidence of that. So we know for a fact, we don't have to say alleged. He whooped some ass. We know Diddy did that. You understand? We got that. Not condoning that, but I'm just getting to the point and keeping it from a street point of view where I'm leaving my personal emotions out of this. Because if that was my daughter, I would feel 100% different and express myself 100% different than I'm expressing now. Big shout out to Juanita Mecca Audio. Make sure you subscribe to her. That's my baby. So I understand when y'all say, what if that was your daughter? You mom, right. But my daughter already know that if she got to do what she got to do to protect herself, even if it winds up landing her ass in jail with me, that's what she have to do, because that's a part of survival. And sometimes God put us through certain situations and trials and tribulations to see how we handle it, and how and where and when he want to move us to the next phase in our life. Just like he gave me life plus 20 to see how I handle that. Then 26, he felt I was ready. He brought me out, and now this is the next phase of my life. Talking to you, breaking this down. But now immunity, because that's what we riding on. If they wouldn't have got immunity, it would have been a nice picture of Diddy on trial, Cassie sitting next to him, 50 Cent baby mama Joy sitting next to him, the other girl, Mojo, Jane Hope, whatever the names is. Imagine all of those girls testifying sitting next to Diddy. Those are his co-defendants. Let's be real. I did 26 years. That's the RICO. These are his co-defendants they're bringing up, but they're trying to slide them in as, victims because they got immunity. So they have to paint a picture that they're these innocent victims. Not saying that they're not innocent victims, but that's what they have to paint the picture. And then Diddy have to paint the picture that they're nothing more than high-priced hoes. I paid them for the services. They did their services. I paid rent. I bought jewels. I bought Chanel bags. I took them to places that y'all couldn't even pronounce, places that you never heard of. Now, all of y'all put in the comments, I even know how to pronounce this. How many of y'all even ever heard of an island or whatever, a continent called Cancun? That's where he said he took this goddamn girl for the projects from a little suburban town out in California. She went to Cancun. I never even heard no Cancun. I'm gonna pronounce it right when they say it later, but just to show you how stupid this is. You know what I mean? These was women that thought they could move up the fast chain by using their throat and their middle section. They got caught up, you know what I mean, when the elders around them should have protected them from monsters like this. Do you understand? The elders around these women that now is labeled babies, but our children that break the law that's even younger than them is labeled adults and could go do life in jail. But when you're labeled a victim, now you're a child. Last I heard, 18 was age to vote and to use adult. We understand the mind is not fully developed, but that's why we still need that village. As Hillary Clinton said, it takes a village to raise a child. And we're the village. So I'm just giving it to you raw and uncensored. So please don't hold me responsible for waking you up and giving you the real. If you're going to get in your emotions, I'm going to give you 3 seconds to please get the off my channel. No disrespect. Come back for something more calmer, but I'm letting you know now, I'm taking it to my people that need it, to the youth that need it, to the females that's in the strip clubs and think they're doing hood escorting and, delivering weed for the traveling Uber weed man. Those are the ones I'm trying to reach right now. I know y'all are not there, but this is my method, and I know it's working because I have this phone that they call on. I answer this. So I know probably more what's going on out there than you. You're stuck in your bubble and you want things to be the way you want. But like I was saying, because I never forget where I'm at, because we riding. We're talking about immunity. Cassie, Jane Doe, you know what I mean? Whoever else that testified that you heard talk about how they was in a extra relationship with him, that they felt that they was forced to coerce because, like Jay-Z said, when they seen the ice, they call it a chain reaction. That's all it is. They call it they call it a chain reaction when they seen the ice. Man, taking them to an island y'all never even knew existed. Cancun. What the is that? Any of y'all ever hear that? Case and Kekos, whatever the hell. I can't pronounce it. Any of y'all spell it in the comments and spell it correctly. All right, let's go. Let's get back to this. But, that's what the immunity is.
So she cooperated.
Exactly.
And I suppose, she probably should have been worried about her exposure to drug trafficking charges, since she admitted that she bought and transported drugs a few times.
So right there, she bought and transported drugs a few times, make her a criminal that got an immunity. I'm just keeping it 100. If anybody out here buy and transport drugs in the United States, there's a statute called 18 USC, period. That's violating, Matter of fact, drugs, we talking about 21 USC. That's the big boy. Yeah. For drugs, it's 21 USC. And then like 841, 21 USC 846 is the simple one they use. And they would have been under 21 USC 846 as Diddy's co-conspirators because they brought and transported drugs. If they didn't testify in the matter they testify in, they would have been sitting there. Imagine Cassie in a jumpsuit. Imagine 50 Cent's girl in a jumpsuit. Let's keep it at 100. Sitting next to Diddy like some badass modern day hip hop pimp. That's what it would have been like. So they made the co-defendants go against him, and everybody testifying, 9 out of 10 of them is co-defendants. Ain't nobody saying that they just did something to do it. They all transported drugs in America. I did 26 years for that. I know dudes did 20, 30 years for that, and life.
She also admitted that she arranged for sex workers to be...
So therefore, she's involved in the transportation as well as a criminal violation. Welcome to the Diddy trial. Sitting next to Diddy is Cassie, Daphne Joy, Jane Doe, Jane Hookah, Luka, Akalaka. All of these are witnesses. Is me sitting there next to Diddy to have his hands out just like that. And that'll be all his co-defendants saying, yeah, we did it, Now, don't forget, they're going to get the one that's over there in Vegas, too. That's why they want to put his name out there, because he's going to be investigated now. And they're going to get all his jilted lovers and jilted workers to go against him the same way they did Diddy. And this is going to be the new takedown, like they used the 21 USC 846 and 848 to bring us down back in the late 80s and early 90s. Welcome to the Justice Department.
Flown, by airplane over state lines for the purpose of prostitution. And that's illegal too. It's called a violation of the Mann Act.
Right there. They're saying that the women is committed illegal acts in violation of the Mann Act as well as Diddy. But they got what they call an immunity. That means that they can't be charged for the crimes they testify to, as long as they testify truthfully and honestly. I'm just explaining to you how this goes, fella.
ANN. And so, immunity sounds about right. She'd need that. But things got a little bit weird next, especially given Jane's testimony in the past few days. Okay, are you sitting down? Because Jane told the jury that she still loves Sean Diddy Combs.
Whoa. Ain't that 50 Cent baby mama? Ain't that 50 Cent baby mama told me she still loved Diddy? Somebody tell me that 50 Cent baby mama told me she still loved Diddy. Whoa. How do you think 50 feel? I know his muscle must hurt right now. If you don't know what the muscle is, that's his heart. Even though he don't love her, he don't care about her publicly, he said all that, that's still the mother of his child. So she holds a special place, even if it's deep in the subconscious of his heart. He holds a special place, and that's why I said baby mothers is off limits to your homies when you're on the street. But everything else is fair game. So when Diddy jumped over and crossed the line and talked to someone that's now spiritually connected to Diddy, 50, even if it's just financially connected for the next 18 years. Somebody explain it. Do y'all understand what I'm saying here? Because everybody say, oh, I don't know why. You 50 mad at Diddy. 50 got a reason. Somebody tell me what the reason is. It looks like I'm seeing the reason why 50 mad at Diddy. I mean, all this other stuff about he didn't sign him on a record label. 50 is a gangster. Think he cared 50 sign him on that? They always scared to sign him, and he still busts through that as the gangster that he is. Got to give it to him. But I'm just looking at him from the human side right now. As a human being, to know that it's not like your baby mama talking to somebody that's got less bag than you. But when somebody is above you, already getting the kudos for the first black billionaire, and you're talking to him, I'm not giving you another dime, is what 50 said. And then Diddy said, come on over to my team. I got you. What's your rent? 10 grand a month? I got you. And now he got her. He treated her so good to take care of all her financial, wants. We know he took care of her needs, which is the roof over her head. But she felt like she wasn't getting her wants taken care of enough once she saw Young Miami come in and was getting all these fancy bags. They are going out in public, they shining, they doing their thing. So now Daphne's like, you not treating me like that. You taking care of my wants, but you taking care of this girl's. You know what I mean? I mean, you take care of my needs. Diddy taking care of her needs and not her wants, but he's taking care of Young Miami's wants. Follow me here. Like I said, I'm just chilling to y'all know where I'm at. So now he taking care of Young Miami's wants, and Cassie and the other chick is only getting their needs. They're like, what she got that I don't got besides youth? I was once 19. I was a baby. You molested me. All that that they say. So how you give this one more than me? I think if I just had to make a speculation, I would think maybe Young Miami was more hood. Young Miami more understood when he said, look, this is what we're going to do. We're going to have free calls. We're going to travel. If I want to get my thorns up, I want to watch you get eaten. If I want to watch you eat somebody, whatever I want, you do it. I take care of you. Young Miami said, bet. He went to Cassie and Daphne and he said, okay, we're in a relationship. And this is what I need you to do as my woman. And, they did it. And then after a while, they felt like this can't be love. This can't be love. So now they don't want to do that no more. Because that's not really what they signed up for. But if he would have told him straight up like he told Young Miami, look, you're going to be my hoe. Whatever I need, you're going to do it. That's the end of the story. I'm going to pay all your bills, whatever you want. But you can't screw nobody else. If you talk to anybody else, you cut off because I'm not going to have you bring nobody here, have nobody follow you here. You pillow talk with nobody to get me set up to come over here to my mansion to try and get past all my security. And I got to cap them with these big-ass guns that I'm worried about. They might even charge me with after this. This is basically where he's at. But instead, he played the romance game with Daphne and Cassie. Maybe because they were light skinned and he felt they was cute. They say dark skin, they look at us a little different. I still think the darker, the cherry, the sweeter the juice. But, everybody don't look at it that way. I know better, So I think maybe Young Miami Juice was a little sweeter, touched his tongue and got him where he needed to be. And she played her position because she knew what she wanted in life. She said, I'm a young girl, I'm just trying to get on. And, if he could do it for me, I'll give him a little bit. That's what girls think. I mean, let's keep it 100. Y'all watching this. Can't get no more realer than this, man. So Young Miami played by the rules. Cassie them, they wanted them to think that they was going to wife him. They even tried to compare themselves to his baby mother, Kim. Newsflash. To all of y'all females, nothing is going to come next to a man's baby mother, much as Diddy's baby mother, because they have that understanding because they're already spiritually bonded. So even if they argue all the time, spiritually, they know who they are. Or is that too deep for you? But remember, this is special by Cash Box coming real soon, finishing up some touches. But, let's finish playing some of this, man.
She described how much she enjoyed looking after Diddy, cuddling him, and giving him foot rubs.
Whoa.
And here it comes, even bathing him.
Whoa. How do you think 50 feel right now hearing that his baby mother is bathing another man? I hope she at least bathed you, 50. And it's not to diss him, I'm just saying, 'cause that's some heart crushing stuff right there. Listening to your baby mama rubbing another dude's foot, talking about rubbing and cuddling, and the baby's still young, so there got to be some feeling somewhere. And that's why I don't extend my heart like that. That's why I don't have to worry about it. I believe if I keep my heart to my damn self, then I ain't got nothing to worry about in life. So if she leaves school, jump off a tree onto a monkey, gorilla, I don't give a crap. Because I make sure I keep my heart in my chest. When you extend your heart, and I'm just telling you how it is from a street point of view, I don't want none of y'all to be like this. This is not what I'm saying. Let me make this perfectly clear. Please find someone to love you. Find somebody to cuddle with. Find somebody to rub your feet, and find somebody to bathe you, and give all that love that you have within you, that you know you want yourself, that you want to express to someone else. I'm just telling you how I was when I was on the street, and I know I'm resonating with a lot of the youngins that's on the street. I don't care what you're doing, who you're screwing, or whatever. Just be there when I need you and do what I need to get done when I need to get it done. And we're going to have some fun, and there ain't going to be no strings attached. And whenever you're with me, I'm going to make you feel like the number one queen in the world. But don't ever get that feeling for factual, because you're not my woman, except when you're with me. And now it's up to the woman if they want to choose that or not. And a lot of times the women choose it, and after they get in and you start bang, 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 bang hard enough, next thing you know, I love you, dog. Nah, stop it. We said, you even gonna hear where Diddy's even telling her that, yo, use a jump off. In so many words, but they don't want to hear it harsh. But yo, these are a bunch of jump offs that's got a man in court for the rest of his life. And then they still turn around trying to sue him for his bag. And then they still trying to take the bag from him on the forfeiture. Let's get back to this. This is crazy.
As she spoke, Diddy nodded his head yes, in agreement. Okay, I got another side note here. If you've been following our coverage, you probably heard last week that the judge threatened that he would throw Diddy out of his own trial. The judge was getting sick and tired of seeing Diddy nodding his head in agreement when he liked what was coming from the stand and shaking his head like aggressively when he didn't like what was coming from the stand.
Hold up. So what they saying that Diddy was shaking his head, smiling like a kid in a chocolate factory as he listed a 50 Cent baby mama said, I love to cuddle with Diddy, rub his feet, and get this, give him body rubs and a bath. Because he's my big baby. Do you know how that'll hurt any man to hear that? I'm just keeping it 100. Men, keep it gangster. Put it in the comments. How would you feel to hear that your baby mama that you still paying money for, not that you fighting to pay whatever crumbs that you give her? I'm talking about when the court say give her $6,000 a month for this kid, and you paying that respectfully every month, and she's calling you telling you he needs something beyond the 6,000. But you know, you're doing it because you think you're the only one, and she being loyal, but yet she's sneaking off the Diddy freak offs. And then you find out that she's bathing this man and screwing 10, 5 dudes at a time. How would you feel? Be honest, man. Like I said, this is not to bash 50. This is just to put the perspective in there and use this as a tutorial so the young people understand that it don't matter how big we are, because we know 50 is the biggest. I was just watching BMF last night. But there's always a Delilah. Look up the story Samson and Delilah that brings a strong man down. You can be strong as you want, but if you pick the wrong woman, That's why I say cover up and use your Jimmy hats. Cover up and use your Jimmy hats, and that way you can use your big head to think who you want to take the Jimmy hat off for. That's my message to the youth and ladies. Let them know to cover up until you know they ready to be the king and the father of your child. If not, you're gonna have a lot of this stuff playing out where one think that a hoe is a housewife, the other one took the hoe that the other one thought was a housewife, then turned her into a queen freak off, and then now all of a sudden she's getting jealous because he moved and found something else, and he's spending more time freaking off with Young Miami or Cassie or whoever. And it's just all got the jealousy and this stuff going on. But that's because these females elders was not there, and they should be held responsible for allowing their people to go through this, man. As well, it definitely Diddy should be punished to the fullest of the law. Not even saying that. Just from whooping Cassie's ass, I wish they would have charged him with it in this federal indictment. But he wasn't charged with whooping the ass, but they showed how he whooped the ass. But he definitely need to be punished for that. From what I'm seeing so far.
It got to a point where Diddy actually locked eyes with the jury, shaking his head back and forth. He didn't agree. And that was when the judge had enough and really admonished him. You keep that up. That's called influencing the jury. It's not allowed in court. I will kick you out. So I was a little astounded a couple times today to see that, Diddy was yet nodding along again or shaking his head. I can't wait to hear if the judge is going to say something again. But when Jane was asked about the hotel nights, the other name for freak-offs, and why she agreed to be a part of them, she said that Diddy made her believe that their activities were something only shared between the two of them.
Stop it. He made you believe. I'm just saying from a street point of view how I look at it. No, this is what I see. And you young men and women put out there, how many people male and female, that believe what they want to believe? You tell them what it is that you're looking for in a relationship, then the relationship start getting good, it's fun, you comfortable where you stipulated you wanted it. But then the next person now, they want to take that to the next level and feel like they're in a relationship. Just like I gotta say it. A woman have an orgasm, she's in a relationship. Man have a nut orgasm, that means that now he's laying there ready to move on to the next conquest. So that's a man and lady laying in the bed. They just both busted a good nut, right? They both laying there. Over his head, there's a caption, who could I get next? And over her head is, oh, we're in a relationship, so we got to get matching underwear. Stupid crap. Let me turn this light off. Came on. My little light came on. All right. That look better? All right. So, that's where we at. But let's play this out, man. I've been on here, damn near 40 minutes. I'm giving you all a ride today.
Something she found out later that was quite untrue. Still, despite all of that, she testified today that she did not want Diddy to feel judged for his desires.
Yeah, she's testifying to lock this man up for the rest of his life, and she's telling the jury that I don't want him to be judged when it's the jury's duty to judge him. So she's really saying, I wouldn't be here testifying if I wasn't a co-defendant and didn't have to worry about this immunity. So the jury have to take that into consideration, and y'all watching that is supposed to take that in consideration. Because everything she's saying, even while she's saying she don't want to be judged, she love him, she's still this, she's still that, all sounds like a consenting adult to me. I might be wrong. Put it in the comments. Don't bash me. I don't know nothing about how a woman feel, but I'm just telling you how we feel to talk to the women so the women understand how we feel, and so that the brothers understand that I could express to them how we feel. We feel like we could screw any goddamn woman we want. But as soon as our woman even look at another man, we don't want her no more. We done. The faucet is cut off. That's it. And that's how 50 felt. You know what I mean? And then now he's finding out the 10 grand. So you acting like you struggling for rent and still asking me for rent every month. And you had this dude paying the rent and you running around. Then you getting on private jet of another mogul to go to Vegas that they're getting ready to investigate the Diddy trial. So they can't say the name. And you sitting here telling me that you want me to pay your what? Gunshots is how he's feeling right now. All right.
When asked why she kept coming back to Diddy and those awful hotel nights that she had testified about, right? Hotel nights she testified she effing hated. Jane told the jury that she wanted to be a good lover and a good partner and came back.
So why she didn't want to be a good lover and partner to the 50? But you want to subject yourself to this? When I didn't see 50 do anything wrong to any female he dealt with. 50, what I've seen, treated all his females with the utmost respect. Him and Vivica Fox got a little verbal thing and all that, but, other than that, she was just mad that he left, is what I say. But, I didn't see none of this. So why would Daphne go from 50 to being abused and doing things that she hates so much with Diddy? Y'all put in the comments why. It could be one or two. Maybe 50 was just too romantic. And maybe Diddy was the villain. And she preferred the villain because she's been hurt and traumatized so much throughout her life that she feels the villain is offering true love because the villain is expressing emotions in all aspects of expressing. But her lover is just being what she calls clingy and soft. So she want to be roughed up a little bit. Because we have all kinds of psychological traumas that drive us to thinking that wrong is right. It's not to pick sides. I mean, I'm just, trying to express it the best I can so the young people understand and hopefully they don't go down the path that we went down. All right?
Back to Diddy for his love. She admitted that she struggles to figure out the why in all of this, but that it's becoming more and more clear as she attends therapy. She said that she felt loved when Diddy trusted her, but that as time went on, her feelings about these hotel nights were, quote, very conflicted because she was breaking her own boundaries, she said.
Right there, should have walked away, but I know she had trauma, so it was very hard for her to walk away. But at that time, when she realized she was breaking boundaries, I'm sure it was somebody that she felt close to, trusting with, that she expressed these things to them. That's my opinion.
She testified that during these hotel nights, Diddy would say that he was, quote, in love and that he, quote, never wanted her to leave. And
that's what you tell a woman at that moment. You want them to feel like the queen and the princess while they're with you for the moment, as they're supposed to want you to feel like the king and the prince at that moment. That's what love making is about, especially like we do here in America where we don't have any commitments. So therefore, there's no bond other than we're here now and we love each other now. Let's ride. Do you know, right? And y'all put in the comments if I'm right or wrong. When you first meet a girl or you first meet a guy, and the first time y'all gonna go hook up, on the way to go hook up, whether you're going to her house, his house, hotel, or wherever, as y'all driving there, for the first few times, everything is good. Then after you start having sex regularly, now when you know you're getting ready to go have sex and you're driving to the sex, now she want to talk about other things other than y'all going there to have sex. But at the beginning, that's all she talked about. But right before you get there, as you're driving, she want to say, oh, my rent been doing this and that. No, now's not the time to talk about your rent. I seen this Chanel bag that I wanted. I mean, come on. Now's not the time. But to the women, yeah, now's the time, because I know his joint is hard. He gonna do what I want. But no, that just aggravates a dude and make a dude say, oh, you trying to play on my hardness right now. You know what I mean? You want to play on my little head right now over my big head, because my little head bigger than my big head right now. So now you want to ask me for rent money and all this other crap when all I want to do is just bang one out. And the ladies think that's the right time. And in their mind, it's the right time. Then they push it, say, no, this is the right time because you stuck. No, it's not the right time. The right time is right after he laid back and go. That's when you ask for what you want. Not when he's standing up, because the only thing on his mind is standing up. Standing up. And that's it. But let's move on with this Jane Doe joint, man.
And that, quote, lovemaking was the only reason I endured them, end quote. Jane testified that she felt like she was the only person who knew what Diddy liked sexually.
Whoa.
Boy, was she wrong.
Boy, was she wrong. Cassie knew, Young Miami knew, Kaluka knew, Jane Maine don't know. Everybody know. You see what I'm saying? They get caught up in their head believing their own lies. That's what I always tell my brothers in jail. Dudes come to me. Do come to me and ask me advice on their girl. I give me advice on their girl, and I tell them, look, dog, when you tell her this and she go believe in this bull crap that we're selling her, right? When she believe it with all her heart and feel like you love her with all her soul, right? There's only one mistake you could make. Do y'all know what that is? Put it in the comment. What one mistake could you make when a woman feels like you love her with all your heart and soul based on the game that you done ran? The one mistake you could make, I'm gonna give you the answer. Keep it real. If you got it right or wrong, you won't be chastised. You just got a minus. The one mistake you can make is when you start believing the bullshit you tell yourself and start believing that you love her too. Once you do that, you become a "but I love a dog" as potential trigger. You're supposed to be the greatest actor in the world to sell it. I love you. It's only you. I'll die for you. I'll wash your feet, massage you. I'll even do like Daphne Joy did for Diddy while she has a baby for 50 Cent, and I will bathe you. But when you go believing that you love this person, that you're selling to them that you love them, if they brought that you love them, there's no reason for you to think that you should be buying it back by believing that crap. See how raw this is? I know y'all don't like that. Let me give you 3 seconds to get out. I'm getting ready to get raw. All right. Take that on the way out. It's for people that really want to know and for my gangsters and gangstresses, like I said, but this is how we think. Bottom line, let's get back to Cassie in this, because it's a good tutorial right now.
When asked if she tried to be sexy during these freak-off hotel nights, Jane said, quote, "I don't think that I tried. I think I was sexy during."
Confident like a mother. I like Miss Jane Doe. I don't think I tried. I know I was. What she told the jury. How Eddie Murphy said it. Good gonna goo goo.
In the hotel nights. Jane admitted that Diddy, quote, "initiated the tone of the wardrobe," end quote, for those nights, but that it was also a mix between Diddy and the stylists and herself as to what she wore.
Whoa, Diddy got a stylist. Yo, fellas, put in the comments. How many of y'all ever got a stylist to style your girl to make love? How many of y'all said we're gonna make love tonight, baby? Go to stylist, get your hair done, your toes done, your pedicure. How many of y'all did that? Put in the comment. We know you get the nails and toes, but I'm saying a stylist, meaning put up makeup when you know you get ready to bang on boots and it's gonna sweat out. And do you want to pay that bag to have her sweat it out? Put it in the comments.
She also said that she was fine with the baby oil because she said it turned her partner on. Jane was asked about her drug use, specifically about ecstasy, and if she chose to take ecstasy, and her answer was pretty clear. She replied, quote, "I would say that Mr. Combs would offer me the ecstasy and that I would take it," end quote.
She being honest like a mother. If somebody offered to you, you have a right to say no. Now, if they don't take that right, that's a violation of the law. Tony supposed to say it right. You could say yes 99 times, but if you say no one time and you violate that no, that's just as guilty as if the 99 times.
Jane said that, quote, "under the drugs, sometimes I would fantasy talk," end quote. She said the fantasy talk included a particular scene where she played the role of a cheating girlfriend left behind with an escort while Diddy was, quote, "out of town." Jane admitted that she provided direction during these role play scenarios, including instructing the escort and specifically noting that she wore 6 to 7 inch stripper heels during some of the hotel nights. And then the tone shifted. Jane was asked about Sean Combs and how she really felt about him. And Jane said that Diddy, quote, was larger than life because he was, quote, confident, strong, and beamed a very bright light. I was fascinated by him, end quote.
Mm.
Text messages from December 2020 were introduced in which Jane told Diddy, quote, "We had so much fun. Your energy is addicting," and described him as charismatic, funny, and charming. She said he, quote, wanted you to believe in yourself, end quote, and pushed her to be her best by helping her be less shy. She said, quote, "He saw the good in me," end quote. Jane testified that Diddy introduced her to a new perspective and insightful conversations as well as gospel. Jane described how Diddy had a favorite pastor and that he and Jane would watch sermons together. She said he also introduced her to gospel music and said these things have stayed with her even now as the relationship is over. Next, Diddy's lawyer pivoted to Jane's income. And this is important because this is where I thought they were really going to drill down that you were just in it for the money, you wanted fine perks and luxury, and didn't like the strings attached. This is what I thought. But instead, the jury heard multiple times about how Diddy paid the rent on her apartment, $10,000 a month. But what was Jane's life like before Diddy? Jane told the jury that prior to dating him, she was an influencer with a swimwear line and a dress line, and that Diddy even invested $20,000 in the dress line and encouraged her business. Jane said that she made roughly $50,000 each month, quote, depending on how many brands I was able to commit to, end quote. Jane previously testified that she now makes money posing on OnlyFans.
Whoa.
But that back when Jane and Diddy were together, she said that Diddy didn't want her to join OnlyFans because, quote, it was frowned upon, end quote. Jane said that.
So hold on. So Diddy had a conversation with Daphne Joy about her joining OnlyFans and said he didn't want her to join it because it was frowned upon. How do you think 50 responded when she expressed this to him? Do you think she even had the balls to express this to him? And how do you look at it if your lady is on OnlyFans? Man, we got a great show today, man. I'm having fun. I'm riding. How do you look at it? Your lady is on OnlyFans. How do you think 50 viewed it if she had the balls to ask him, hey, Fit, I want to get an OnlyFans page? See, Diddy heard that and said, okay, free, got you, but I'm going to keep it to myself because I can afford to keep it to myself. And whatever you think you'll make an OnlyFans, I'll pay you. So we'll start with 10 grand a month for your rent. That's how simple. Diddy said, why am I going to let her get on OnlyFans to go chase 10 grand a month, 50 grand a month when I could give it a 50 grand? All that she doing, she said she only made 50 grand a month. If he paid 10 grand a month for rent, that means she get more than 40 grand. So what he's doing is he's using her as his own personal OnlyFans. See, when you got $1 billion, you can do that. That's how you have to look at it. And then now, here it is, an OnlyFans model. Potential model, because we're going to find out if she is or she isn't. But here it is, an OnlyFans model. She takes a man to court and say, you used me, you transported me, even though I bought the tickets, I booked the flights, I booked the escorts, you used me. But the law said that doing that is a crime. But the law said that they'll give me immunity, meaning they won't charge me and have me sit next to you in an orange jumpsuit for the duration of this trial if I testify. Let's get back to the show.
The reason she joined in 2024 was because, quote, it was something that I needed. And
why do you think she needed OnlyFans? Think she needed the money? Or she just needed to have somewhere to express her freakish desires?
Interestingly, Jane said that most of the time, she didn't need to ask Diddy for money. And as Diddy's lawyer pointed out, over the 3+ years of their relationship, Diddy wired Jane $150,000.
Damn, he got that for 150? Yeah, 150 to get that loyalty? If you had $1 billion, would you spend that 150 to invest in that? Huh? Diddy's a businessman, If they could have gave her that 150, she would have sat her ass still. But he might have been a little hard on her. Just a suggestion. Don't know.
And then came a stretch of testimony that blurred the line between romance and control. Jane told the jury, quote, "I do find men who are successful attractive," and said that she liked, quote, "a protector and provider," end quote. It was part of a larger effort by the defense to frame the relationship as mutual, maybe even loving. Diddy's lawyer brought up the way Jane had described her apartment as, quote, "our house" during earlier testimony, meaning hers and Diddy's together.
Right there, she thought they was in a relationship. Once they say our house, that's how Diddy sold her. But my thing is, right, let's ride. From what I know of 50 Cent, right? From what I know of 50 Cent, 50 Cent probably hit it a few times, then found out who she was, and then said, okay, look, this is what we're going to do. You know, I'm going to take care of the kid, and that's it. Whatever else you do, you want you, go do you. So now she go out and do what she want to do, go have fun, going on jets all the way to Vegas that the feds is investigating for a second RICO trial, getting ready to come up for another mogul, because this is just the beginning of the downfall. But that now, 50 said, I'm not going to get caught up in that whirlwind to be caught up like Diddy is going to get caught up, because you know he's a dirty dick dude, because he went and got with my baby mother when we supposed to be in the same profession, the same field, and running the same circle. So how would he feel having you standing next to him at a party while I'm there? Me, I wouldn't give a crap, but I feel like he disrespected me because I thought he was my boy, because we was in the same celebrity circle. And I thought he would know that my woman was off limits. That's what 50's saying. But 50 already made his mind up that I know this is a jump off. I'm done with her. You know what I mean? She got a baby, the baby here. I'm going to take care of the baby, because my responsibility. Whatever happened after that, that crap is on you. And that's it. So now he's like, okay, the court said give you this, that's it. I understand that you living in a house that costs more than what the court gave you from me a month, but I'm not giving you another dime because you just a jump off. No matter what I give you, still going to jump off. So I'm not going to have me attached to giving you no money attached to you taking my money to go drive around with a Diddy and Ferrari and Bentley if I treated you like I would like to treat a proper baby mother. But you're not a proper baby mother, so I would not put you in a Bentley. I would not put you in a Ferrari. You go out and suck up and get your own Ferrari best way you know how. All I'm doing is taking care of the kid because you tricked me. You deceived me. You had me thinking that you was wife material when you was nothing more than a jump off, as we called it back in the days, but as they now call it, a freak off. And 50, let it be known, I'm done with you. So I'm not saying nothing bad about 50. I know where 50 stand. I'm just using examples so you understand. 50 said, use a jump off, go do you. I'm going to take care of the kid. In court, how much you want me to give it? 7,000 a month? Okay, give it 7,000. That's the problem he had with his other son. Because when he done, he know how to cut the strings to the heart. And once 50 cut those strings to the heart, they cut. And you see how 50 move. You know what I mean? And the women don't understand it. So they get discombobulated and they try and act like they're gonna put light in a dark place like 50's heart after they done made that darkness. No, you can't lighten that up. You can't hit a lightning bolt in his heart by thinking that by you doing freak offs with Diddy and running on private jets to Vegas with another mogul is gonna hit a lightning bolt in 50's heart. He goes, oh, I love her. No. 50 already said he done with you. He done with you. Let's get on with this. He done.
Jane clarified that Diddy was the one who called it our house, but that, quote, as time went on, it changed to, quote, my house. She also explained that with the apartment,
that my house mean my pussy, my throat. You do what I say do with it. That's what Diddy is saying when he say mine. And she figured, well, if that's what I need to do for you to consider me yours, is do what you want, even these freaky, devilish, unabomination things, I will do it. Even getting infections and keep doing it and throat hurting and blisters and all that. What the? Hold up.
She wanted more privacy, especially when it came to those awful hotel nights. She said that she hoped if she found a home that matched Diddy's taste level, that maybe the hotel nights could be moved there instead of playing out in luxury suites. Jane said it was important that Diddy's employees didn't know what really went on during these hotel nights, even though, let me be clear, we've already heard plenty of testimony that these employees were the people who brought the lube and the baby oil in multiple quantities and warmed the baby oil in hot water in the sink and put red lights and covered the furniture in sheets and towels so that it wouldn't get banged up by the baby oil. So I'm not exactly sure what she's saying when she testifies she didn't want them to know what really went on during the hotel nights. Maybe it was that she didn't believe that the staff knew there were escorts. Again, even though we've heard plenty of testimony that the staff would bring bags of money or leave money at the front desk for the escorts. So I'm a little unclear about her thinking here. And although she didn't say it outright, the implication was clear. The less the alleged, quote, criminal enterprise knew, the better. And then came a set of messages from March 25th, 2023, right after Jane and Diddy returned from Turks and Caicos. First, the jury heard Diddy's voice in a voice memo, maybe referencing that he was addicted to her because he said, quote, "We had a great time. Get some rest. You are the crack pipe. Stay in the light. So much fun," end quote. He even
I ain't had a mic on, but we gonna ride, right? I said, how many of y'all had a girl, right? How many of y'all had a girl that she did you so good that you didn't even know your name damn near? I'm gonna give you one, right? I meet this girl. I'm in Miami, right? I'm gonna talk real fast. This back in '92. I got pictures of her too. I'm gonna put in my documentary. I meet this girl back in '92. I meet at the Rolex. She was bad. I'm sitting in there. I went in there late as hell. I had a flight leaving at like 7:30 in the morning. My man at the crib waiting on me. I done went to the Rolex. I done went to the room and pub. Went to Tough Tuckers. I'm all over Miami. I stopped off at Jumbo's, took some pictures in the back of the truck. Y'all in Miami know what I'm talking about, right? That was my typical night. And then I also stopped off in Big Daddy's, right? Now, when I stopped off in Big Daddy's, I'm up in there, I had my little drinks, and then I hit 95. I go up, I cross the bridge, and I go over there to 5th Street on the beach. 5th Street on the beach with Jamaican joint that I had with my man, Mana. I didn't even tell you all about my Miami experience with 5th Street on the beach yet. Big shout out to Mana. Round of applause to Mana. Big shout out. Rest. And then if we take it back to the old Rasta, them I watched this, that's in them 70s and things. It's the old 70-year-old Rasta man them. Remember when Camel bring up Mana about certain issue with him? I'm not gonna get into it, but Camel is my big brethren. I'm a cousin that, I'm a mother, sister, son, oldest son. First one become Rasta. One of the original Rasta Jamaica, my cousin, right? That's Camel. Camel come up and then bring up Rolly. Rolly is also known as Mana Man. That's all I gotta say. Big shout out to Mana Man. A round of applause again. All right. Relax, man. Relax. Mana Man had to join up on the beach, 5th Street. So we hit 5th Street on the beach. I go in there, Mana, I bring a couple of Americans. I look in, it's kind of empty. So I walk right across the street. They had Luke Skywalker Club. So I go down Luke Skywalker Club. I party for a minute, get on the mic, do my thing. And then I shoot back over to, 5th Street. And I bring, some of the crowd from there, get a little bit of mittens, get a little ball money, and let them listen to reggae music because 5th Street on the beach was a reggae club. But we up there and we chilling, right? So now I leave there at like 3:34 in the morning. I go to the Rolex. Rolex closing at 5. My plane leave at 7:30. Just take this ride with me, right? Airplane leave at 7:30. My man at the crib waiting on me. And then now here I go, I stop off at the Rolex to go get a couple of drinks. So I go get a bottle of Remy Mar. That was a drink of choice back then. I'm drinking a Remy. And while I'm sitting there drinking a Remy, I'm looking at the girl dancing. I seen this, high yellow girl, right, with like green eyes come walking by with natural blonde hair. And she's a black girl, that caramel complexion, that piss yellow complexion, no disrespect, right? So she comes walking out with this big ass gym bag where had all the outfits. I'm like, damn, she must have been changing a lot. So now I calls over. I said, yo, I want you to dance for me. He said, no, I'm off. I'm getting ready to leave. So I put a little $2,000 on the table, smack. I said, I would dance. She dropped the bag, dropped the clothes, got naked, and started doing her thing. And she was doing so good, I told her straight up, next time I get with you, next female I get with, I want it to be you. So I got to leave at 7:30 in the morning. Come with me to New York so I can have you after I get back to New York and do what I got to do. He said, y'all always playing games. Y'all come here and tell the girl anything, think we going to fall for anything. I said, nah, call my bluff. I gave her $1,000. I said, here, this yours. That's the plane ticket, and I'm getting ready to order you a plane ticket right now. Get my man to order a ticket. She said, bet. So she leave. We go back, boom, boom, boom. We get to New York. She gave me a little oral. It was bananas. I swear to God, I saw stars. Right? I called my mama. I said, Mommy, I can't believe I saw stars from this girl, man. My mother said, oh my God, I got to meet her. Finally got somebody to calm your ass down and let you stop hustling. So I brings it down there next Sunday. Next Sunday, I brings it out there. She looks at my mother. My mother looks at her, her complexion is glowing. How you get your skin so beautiful? She said, semen. My mother said, what? Semen. And my mother had the nerve to say, oh yeah, well, my husband getting ready to come up. I said, whoa, Ma, I ain't trying to hear about that now. You're talking a little too much now. You know what I mean? Pause. You know what I mean? But they had this little bond, right? But this girl was so official, but even though the lovemaking was so official, I knew to keep my heart in my own damn chest is the moral of the story, which is what 50 did with Daphne. You understand what I'm saying? Which is what Diddy did. Diddy did from a street level, and y'all ain't gonna like it, so I'm gonna give you 3 seconds to tap out if y'all don't want to hear this. All right. All right, relax. So that's where we are. I'm gonna give it to you 100. Diddy did a great job from a street level. From a street level, what he did was he convinced them to believe the bullshit so he could get what he needed to get from them, because that's what it's all about on the street. Seeing what you could get from a person by manipulating them to do what it is you need to do so you can elevate to the next phase in life. At the same time, you bring them up with you. You don't leave them behind. And obviously he didn't leave them behind, because if you hear the testimony, a lot of them, they stay, especially like this Daphne Joy girl, she still loves him. Cassie, he had her really believing that he loved her, and they was in a monogamous one-on-one relationship, and what they was doing was a part of the relationship. That's where he messed up with Cassie, while he wound up with that, when he should have always reminded Cassie that, look, no disrespect, I know you're not a jump off, but I give you what you want and you give me back what I want. That's called fair exchange, is no robbery. AKA back in the 1800s, it was called a barter. I give you money, you give me affection and make me feel like a king when I'm with you. That's it, that's all. But Diddy went at it trying to romance them and say that at the same time. He crossed his wires when he should have left the romance out and said, look, I'm P. Diddy. I got $1 billion. What you want? To have sex with another man so I could watch, because that's my freakish desire. And he just paid her that. That was the end of it. But when he started going there every day to spend time with him, believed that she was his friend. No, she was never your friend, Diddy. She was your jump off. You don't make your jump off your friend. If I take my time to go see a woman every day, that means I have some degree of like for her. If I don't spend a lot of time with you, that means I have a great degree of like for you, and I think that you may break down my Teflon wall and penetrate my muscle and have me moving like a but I love a dog type dude. So I keep those that I feel I have too much love for, or love for, I keep my black ass away, and I deal with that in spurts. When I want to be loved, I go see them. Other than that, I'm not going to slow down what I'm doing to go see them every day, because then made for addicted like she's a crack pipe, as Diddy said, and want to be with her every day instead of going out handling my business every day. And then if she do something wrong, then that would totally devastate me and break my muscle. Listen, I've been shot, stabbed, everything on the head, hitting the head with a lock, hitting the head with a big ass lock from the street, hitting the head with a lock in the prison. I mean, it's like locks attracted to me. I'm a magnet for getting hit with a lock, right? But now, even after all of that, man, none of that hurt as bad as when I got my heart broken. I'd rather be shot 4 times, jump off a 4-story to 6-story building. I'd rather be hit in the head with a big padlock on the street that hold down the New York City gate. I'd rather be hit with a padlock in a sock in the prison than to have my heart broken. I'm just keeping it 100. I know this is hard for y'all, but I did ask y'all to tap out. So if you didn't tap out and you stayed and this is hurting your muscle or making you feel some type of way, it's your damn fault. I did tell you to tap out. Let me finish this up.
Blew kisses into the phone and referenced what Jane had previously described as their, quote, love contract, saying, quote, you got your contract. Then came Jane's reply, quote, baby, you make me laugh, end quote. She said, quote, the addiction is real. Yay, 2-year contract, end quote.
They had a 2-year contract, and she honored that while she had a baby for 50 Cent. Let's not forget that. I'm just keeping it 100 because y'all need to really know what's going on. So when you young boys out there get the music, you get with these jump offs, have a baby with them, and then now here go your rivalry coming up, and then all of a sudden now she crossed the line and she's doing freak offs with your rival, and you got the whoa.
She blew kisses too and echoed the sentiment, quote, so much fun, end quote. In text messages that followed, Jane wrote, quote, I'm a lucky girl, super happy and all smiles, end quote. Diddy's lawyer asked if there had been entertainers either on that trip or in Miami afterwards. And Jane said, quote, unfortunately, yes, there were. Diddy's lawyer pressed again. Did she love spending time with Diddy? Jane replied, yes, but only, quote, with him, end quote. She made it clear that the love was for him and not the whole scene, not the extras. Jane also confirmed that Diddy still pays for the rent on that house, and it never stopped. And even if it did, Diddy's lawyer pointed out that there are 3 months already paid in advance, part of the initial deposit. Jane admitted that at one point, when Diddy had floated the idea of breaking up, he even offered to cover another 3 months. Diddy's lawyer asked Jane directly, did she ever really believe that he would stop paying her rent, even as he was making those threats? And Jane said, yes, absolutely. Rent, she said, was, quote, a tool, a form of control. She recalled one argument where Diddy implied he might stop the payments. And Jane said that she was so upset that, in her words, quote, I brought up his ex. She said it was one of the few times that she pushed back and that it did not go over well. Jane then walked the jury through how their relationship began. She said Diddy was upfront at first, telling her that he was, quote, dating other people and that he was, quote, polyamorous. She said she accepted that dynamic in the beginning, but that it wasn't until, quote, emotions grew deeper that it became a problem. She pointed specifically to Diddy.
You heard that? It wasn't until emotions grow deeper. That's what I'm saying. You could tell a woman straight up, look, this is what it is. We just gonna bone. I'm gonna break you off. She said, bet. You bone 10 times. Her emotions get caught up because you hit that little love spot by taking it deep up into her chest where she feels it in her throat. And then now all of a sudden, but I love you. And that's not a D rider. You know what I mean? That's not a D rider. That's just women. But of course, real women is gonna say that's not gonna happen. Man, I wish this, I had this girl call in. if she what was she said name was like Shanae. She used some crazy name, Shanae. Shanae need to call in. If you watching, Shanae, call in. We need to deal with this, man. You know what I mean? Because I don't understand. Shanae, we say she didn't want to tell me her real name. She didn't want to know who she was because she said she ain't no jump off, and that's what it is. So maybe she called in. But let me get back to this, man.
Diddy's relationship with a rapper named Young Miami, a relationship that was very public facing. Jane said that watching their relationship unfold while her relationship had to remain hidden was painful. Before answering a question about whether she'd ever referred to Diddy's other girlfriends in derogatory terms, Jane took a moment to explain herself. Quote, "I feel very bad about this. I really do love women." But she admitted that she may have used words like hoe when referring to them. Jane told the jury that Diddy started dating Young Miami about 6 months to a year after he began seeing her. She said, quote, "It was hard to watch. I didn't sign up to date a man that was in a public relationship." And of Diddy's other girlfriends, Jane said, quote, "It was hurtful seeing Diddy with Gina and with Jessica." Jane said the whole dynamic made her feel invisible and disrespected, especially when she found out that Young Miami had been gifted a Maybach, a flashy luxury car worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Jane testified that, yes, she eventually received a Van Cleef necklace from Diddy, but that it wasn't about the price tag. In private, Jane said Diddy was jealous and possessive of her, even though he demanded the freedom to see other women. She said he was particularly angry.
Hold on. Hello?
Yes,
Yeah. Who did Shanae?
Shanae.
Oh, God. Listen to Shanae with her crap. Go ahead.
This is Shanae. That's a dick rider, my brother.
Why you say that?
Because only dick riders do that. A real women that has everything together, they don't let that dick control them like that. A dick doesn't control a real woman. That's a dick rider where a dick controls a woman.
Oh, stop it. So you saying that every woman that I've been with was dick riders?
Dick riders.
Nah, I ain't gonna go with that.
Because you've never been with a real woman, my brother.
So what makes a real woman to you? What makes a real woman to you?
Because she has everything together. Her emotions, she don't let stuff like that carry her emotions and make her that type of person.
You all say that until you get it.
Those are stick riders that say it.
You would say it too.
Yeah, but I wouldn't have to tell you. I would show you.
Yeah, and you still be riding the dick as you call it.
Wrong answer, my brother.
How you figure that?
Get with a real woman and then you'll understand.
Okay, so what makes a real woman? I mean, the women I was with had together, they had jobs, they had their financial security together, you know what I mean? And they took care of their own responsibility.
Their emotions wasn't together, and they didn't consider themselves as high value women.
So
because they're not gonna let that happen. I'm telling you.
Listen, man. What you think? You a high valued woman?
Yes, I do. I don't think I.
Well, it wouldn't be nothing to break you.
Exactly. You wouldn't break me with no dick.
Ooh, I like that. I like that. So what would I break you with?
Come and find out.
Hey, yo, she talking about trying to be broken emotionally. That's what I'm saying. I don't give those fake emotions. I let you know straight up what it is. I'm just trying to bang out, get choked out of what it is. Either you with it or you not. You know what I mean? That's it.
And I would tell you no. That's it. I'm not going to tell you yes just to ride the dick.
Nah, but I mean, if I tell, okay, stop. So now, if I sit there and say, come on, baby, you know you want it, and I start touching on a couple of buttons and I hit that right button, then where we at?
We're still not going to be there.
Stop it. You even paused. I heard the pause in your voice. Because you know there's certain buttons, there's certain buttons that open the waterfall and open the floodgates.
And everybody's water buttons don't open the same.
Exactly. But what if I hit that right one?
Even if you hit the right one, same thing.
So you're going to fight the feeling then. So you're going to fight the feeling.
No, exactly.
Oh, there you go. Get it right now. So slow it down. Slow it down. Slow it down, sis. Slow it down. So you're saying that you're going to fight the feeling when I touch the button if I hit the right button.
Yes.
Why?
Why? Because you want me to be a dick rider that I'm not.
How is that a dick rider? No, I just want you to take this right now. That's it. That's not the ride.
And that's my point. Right now, and then you won't come back again, or either you come
back.
Nah.
Pause. If it's good, I'll be right back. Now what?
My point. If it ain't, you're not.
All right then. So what? You ain't sure if it's right or not to bring me back?
No, I'm not, I don't need. No, I already know it's right. I don't need you to make to approve that.
Now you can feel what you want to feel, but it's the next person that's getting it. They have to express how you make them feel. Just like, I have to make the woman express how I make her feel. If I'm wrong, correct me.
You're wrong.
Okay, why?
Because you're just wrong. You're wrong. I just don't agree with what you're saying.
Okay, explain it. If you can't explain it, that means I'm right. Explain it. You got the floor.
No, it don't, because you don't always have to come with dealing with your genitals all the time.
Who said genitals? It might, like I said, it might touch the right button. Sometimes the fingers do it.
Have to come with it. Could be something else.
I think I got you.
No, you don't have me at all.
I mean, I got you stuttering. That's what I'm talking about.
You don't have me stuttering either. You don't have me with that.
I don't. Then explain it. If I hit the right button and you fighting the feeling, why are you fighting the feeling? Question.
I'm too well experienced for that, my brother.
No, that's what you think. I'm experienced. To me, you may be a lame. To you, I may be a lame. So your experience level and my experience level is different until we get together and we see if they're compatible. Right?
It's not gonna. That's true what you're saying, but I'm telling you, it doesn't make it where you're gonna have me the way you talk, the stuff that you just.
Now
said.
you feel that way. That's your feelings. That's an emotion.
Not my feeling. I know.
How do you know when you don't know me?
I don't have to.
See,
know
there you go, pausing again. Stop pausing.
No, I don't have to know you. I'm telling you who I am.
So you don't have to know. So you don't have to know the ride that you're going on to understand that it's going in loops. If you can't see it, you get on it blindfolded, you're not going to know where it's going. So if you don't know me, that means you're getting on my ride blindfolded. And I'm definitely going to turn you out blindfolded.
No, you're not. Because when you know who you are, that's why I'm able to speak to you.
You talking with your mind, man. I'm talking about touching your right emotions, man.
I'm telling you.
I'm talking about opening the floodgates, man.
Okay.
All right. Let me tap out, get back to the show. You talking crap. All right. Thank you for the call. I think that's crap. That's a bunch of crap. But we're going to get back.
Angry about a man named Bear who had given Jane $9,000 years earlier. She said Diddy never let that go. And then came something even more personal. Jane told the jury she became genuinely concerned about Diddy's health. She said he was showing signs of jaundice, that his gums looked gray, and that his hands were shaky, symptoms she believed were tied to alcohol and drug use. She said she told him that he should look into rehab, specifically a facility in Thailand, where she said her own parents had gone for treatment. But Diddy, she said, did not appreciate the suggestion. According to Jane, he shot back, quote, "What the hell? You think I need rehab?" End quote. Jane said she also tried to help him with digestive health. She testified that he was on antidepressants and once mentioned wanting to try ketamine therapy. And then Jane mentioned something that they called Fuck It Friday. That's when Diddy would, in her words, let loose. And she admitted something else, that she had twice transported drugs for Diddy. Then
that's the charge right there. Now we see why she's testifying. She's once transported drugs for Diddy. Now, you think she told that to them and he didn't tell you you'll be sitting there as a co-defendant? Make sure you subscribe to my daughter YouTube channel, Juanita Mech Audio. All right.
Then came a series of explicit text messages, one after the other, messages that Jane said she sent while likely under the influence of drugs and inside a hotel room with Diddy. The messages were between Jane and a male escort named Cabral. Jane said Diddy was the one who told her to reach out. And the texts were graphic and explicit. And they didn't end either. In November, Jane was involved in conversations planning what she called a, quote, freak fest for Diddy's birthday. Conversations with Cabral and another man named Paul, another escort. But Jane said the whole thing was orchestrated by Diddy. At one point, she texted that she would still be bleeding, a reference to menstruating, and that Diddy responded by telling her to figure it out when it would work. The next message was even more explicit, with Jane texting that she'd have sex with Cabral while Paul had to, quote, wait his turn. Tenny Garagos, Diddy's defense attorney, sounded visibly uncomfortable in court while having to read these messages out loud. But Jane said these weren't her fantasies. They were his fantasies, and that she played along because that's what Diddy wanted. One of Jane's messages suggested that she and Diddy, quote, peek into a sex party, which prompted her to say on the stand, quote, I just want to clarify that Diddy had brought this up first and that she did not initiate it. As the texts continued, Jane offered some context for the jury. She explained that while the words may have sounded playful or consensual, they did not reflect how she actually felt in the moment. And then the conversation moved to a series of text messages from November 22nd, 2021, where the mood shifted. Jane had seen a post on social media from one of Diddy's other girlfriends. She texted him, quote, homegirl is posting being there with you, and told the jury it was upsetting, not just because he was with someone else, but because she wasn't allowed to post anything about their relationship. And get this, Jane said that while Diddy was with another girlfriend, he was still texting Jane about the two escorts who were supposed to be involved in the upcoming Freak Fest. Jane said that contrast between secrecy when it came to her and what she had just seen on Instagram with another woman made her very angry. Jane sent another text to Diddy, quote, don't say you fucking miss me. You don't deserve me, end quote. One of the more charged moments of the day came when the testimony turned towards all the fancy gifts that Diddy bought for his girlfriends, specifically a Chanel handbag. Jane had seen a post on social media from another girlfriend who'd received a gift from Diddy, and the moment sparked this exchange in court. Tenny Garagos, Diddy's lawyer. You didn't get a Chanel bag? Jane, I only got trauma. Garagos, what is a Bottega bag? Jane, I'm sure you've got one. Garagos, how much does a Bottega bag cost?
Word.
Jane, how much does my body cost? And that last line prompted a very quick intervention from the judge, Judge Subramanian, who reminded Jane to answer the questions that were being asked. And that's where we stand. That's where day 20 wrapped up. A failed motion for a mistrial, a judge who called out the government and complimented the defense, and testimony that swung between romantic voice notes and raw, bitter confrontations. Jane described a relationship she once believed in, and one she now calls chaotic, painful, and dark. She says the love was real, but so was the control. But does any of this, does all of it, amount to coerced sex, aka sex trafficking? Was Jane fearful that she'd be punished financially or even physically if she refused the punishing sex schedules that Diddy allegedly demanded of her? Or was she simply gunning for better luxury perks and stayed with the kinky boyfriend to make sure those perks didn't end? One is sex trafficking and the other is not. And the jury is going to have to decide what they think of this toxic, troubled relationship. Tomorrow, the cross-examination picks back up, so make sure you're subscribed on YouTube or Apple. Relationship she once believed in, and one she now calls chaotic, painful, and dark. She says the love was real, but so was the control. But does any of this, does all of it, amount to coerced sex, aka sex trafficking. Was Jane fearful that she'd be punished financially or even physically if she refused the punishing sex schedules that Diddy allegedly demanded of her? Or was she simply gunning for better luxury perks and stayed with the kinky boyfriend to make sure those perks didn't end?
That's what that sounds like. Put in the comments, let me know. Make sure to subscribe to my daughter's YouTube channel, Juanita Mecca Audio. Subscribe to Unique Mecca Audio Prison Story and Mecca Audio TV. Let's keep it moving. All right.
Cheers, cheers, toast the crime, toast the crime, the crime, the crime, the crime.
Fresh out the can of 26, he back on the strip, getting back in the mix. What he mentions a gift. You stand up 10 toes down, and I suggest you pay attention to this. Real. Take a little gully posse and put it in Harlem. He cut from the bottom, came up from the bottom. Drop the book, you should go and get it. The Instagram page and the YouTube, you could go and visit. Then you could consider yourself LinkedIn. Sit front row and get Jews from a kingpin. How he went through it, so you ain't gotta go do it. To not pay attention would be stupid. Talking about a man that probably put your grandfather on. Probably the reason that him and your grams got along. A man that generated millions on the block, did his time, never squilling to the cops, make an audio.